Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So there's been a lot of projects run through this shop in the last couple of months. A lot of wonderful videos. I hope you enjoyed them. But it's time for some shop maintenance. The shop frankly, it's getting away from me a bit. So I'm going to go through what I should have done early in the spring, but it's summertime now. So I'm going to go through and do my cleanup and refurb and all that good stuff, all that shop maintenance stuff that I do. And I'll take you along for the ride. So you guys have seen me use my push sticks on nearly every project, and I love these. I love the big handle on them. They stick up above the fence so your hand's not hidden, and they give you that forward downward pressure on the board that you're pushing through. They tend to get chewed up pretty badly, and that's why I have two of them. So when one of them gets chewed up beyond use, I have another one to go to until I get time to come back and get them fixed up. And when I've cleaned them up too much, I'll just make a new one out of some 3/4 plywood and move on. So let me show you how I get them cleaned up. Now I have some pre-made cut blocks that I made. So all I do is just get a little glue on them. And get them glued back in place. Just like that. So this is also when I'll take the time to go ahead and wax all of my cast iron surfaces. I do this at least once a year, if not more. If I notice the tables are sticking a little bit, I'll go ahead and do this more often, but I go ahead and wax all my cast iron surfaces. So at this point, I'll also go ahead and wax up all of my jigs and sleds and things like that. This is my table saw sled. I have some others that I use frequently, and I'll do them all. I like to do the wood sleds and things in Renaissance wax. I just think it works better on the wood. Just make sure those runners get a good coat. And boom, just like that, everything is functioning super nice there. I like it. So while we're on the table saw, I noticed somewhere in the last project or two, I cracked and broke my zero clearance insert for the table saw, and it actually hooked there a couple of times when I was trying to push material. So I ordered another one, and it's in. And I'm just going to get that one put in its place. So again, while I'm here at the table saw, I notice this blade is just getting filthy and it's getting dull. So I'll dump it in here and clean it up, but then I'm going to send it back to Bell Forest for sharpening because it's due. I always keep two blades so that if I have one out for sharpening, I have another blade. I really like the Forest blades. So all I'm going to do is put the sharp one on, clean up the dull one, and send it for sharpening. So my track saw has also seen a lot of use in the last several projects. So it too is going to go ahead and get a new blade put on it, and the old one will get sent out for sharpening after I clean it. So the drum sander paper, yeah, it's pretty well had it. Even though I keep it clean with a cleaning block, it's time. I keep 120 on this. Most of the time, it just seems to work the best for me. Also, this cleaning block has just about had it. So I'll go ahead and break out a new one and have it ready to go for the next project. And just like that, some fresh paper on the drum sander. Okay, it's also time for a new blade on the bandsaw. Believe it or not, this is the original blade on this saw, and it served me well, but it's time to upgrade. So this is just a Resaw King, and it's 3 TPI and a 1/2 inch. Should be good for what I do. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and change the blade on my small saw as well, my 14 inch. This is just a 1/4 inch, but this is 10 TPI. This is typically what I like to run on my smaller bandsaw. Okay, and the only machine blades that I didn't do anything with are my joiner and my planer blades. And frankly, I've inspected them. They're in great shape. They're still cutting nicely. So I'm just gonna leave them alone. And of course, we can't neglect the hand tools. So all of them have to be touched up as well, and I've used a lot. So you can get them touched up as well. So while I've got my wax out, I'll also go ahead and take the time to chip any glue off of my clamps that I can, and also get a good coat of wax on them just to keep them functioning nice. You certainly appreciate that when it's time to use the clamps. And of course, last but not least, there's what to do with the scrap pile. There are a couple of bits of plywood in there that I'll pull out and put in the regular garbage. The rest of that is all destined for our burn pit. I'll sit around the fire and enjoy a good evening with a rather expensive fire. Frankly, this stuff isn't really good for anything else. I know there's a lot of people that hang on to this stuff like it's gold. But I seem to produce it fast enough where if I hung on to all of it, I would be overrun with it. So on the fire it goes. Well, there you go, guys. That took me really all day yesterday to get through all of that sharpening and all of that waxing and all those blade changes and all that stuff. It really is kind of a full day process. But now I really feel like my shop is truly tuned up and ready to go for the next several projects. Obviously, I'll still have to touch up some chisel blades or plane blades and whatnot. You know, that just comes with the territory. But I know that right now my shop is in great shape and ready to go. So I hope you got something out of that. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments block below and I'll get them answered as quickly as I can. So until next time, guys, take care.